Good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome to today's Minutes Network AMA. I'm Gary Karp, and I'll be your host for tonight's event. A huge thank you to everyone who submitted questions and continues to keep supporting and encouraging us. We really appreciate everyone's engagement and enthusiasm. It's certainly keeping us on our toes. There'll be no surprises that tonight's event there'll be a lot of focus around unity, especially after yesterday's announcement, but all that good stuff is still to come. A quick note before we dive in. This session includes forward-looking statements about market opportunities and our business plans. These reflect our current assessment based on market research and operational data, but actual results may vary. We're excited to share our progress, but as with any business in a rapidly evolving market, outcomes depend on many factors. We have a lot to cover today, and I am delighted to be joined by our inimitable CEO, Josh Watkins, Omri Lachman, who is leading our commercial efforts in VoIP hyperscaling, and our globe-trotting CMO, Jamie King. We've got a lot to cover today, as I said. So, without any more ado, let's get started. Josh, over to you to share the latest bird's eye view of Minutes Network's progress.
Thank you, Gary. It's a pleasure to be here as always. Good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, guys. As we move through Q4, I'm pleased to share that Minutes Network continues to see significant operational progress and real-world growth across multiple regions. I'm very happy with the progress. Obviously, as the CEO of any company that really loves what they do, we always want things to be quicker than they sometimes are, but we're pushing very hard and we're very happy with what we see. So let's begin with Pakistan. The expansion in Pakistan is one of our key focuses as a company right now, and the LDI operations are reaching new levels of scale over the last 30, 45 days. This traffic growth represents a major step forward in our commercial rollout. It strengthens the foundation for consistent high volume traffic to Pakistan across our network, and it sets the stage for further margin optimization and revenue reinvigoration using our proprietary technologies such as Jingle and the Revenue Turbine. With the next targets, personal and business focused targets, sitting around the 2 million minutes per day mark, we are in the final stages of negotiations and have an absolute clear line of sight over the customers and clients that are being brought onto the network to deliver this traffic specifically. That being said, in addition to the Pakistan voice traffic, we're also preparing to activate SMS services to Pakistan. Huge volumes, very attractive margins for us as a company. It will further diversify our traffic mix and enhance network utilization in terms of scale. It is a major milestone that sort of brings us closer to full integration in one of the world's fastest growing connectivity markets. And with a huge population, there is a lot of business to be done, a lot of volume out there indeed. So, A to Z, or 25 for 25, or should we say 50 for 25? We're working hard to ensure that our expansion target of these 50 operational countries is met during this year, 2025, and not just the 25 countries that Jamie mentioned during Rare Evo, but 50 countries. And yes, this is an ambitious goal, but one that we're extremely confident in achieving. The way that it's achieved is it's an engineered process. The next phase involves onboarding, A to Z retail. When I say A to Z, it means destinations, starting with A, starting with Z, the entire alphabet of potential destinations that are sort of legally allowed to use VoIP, etc., and non-sanctioned, of course. We'll be onboarding A to Z retail, calling card customers, call centers, wholesale customers, bringing in truly global traffic across both voice and SMS. It's a deliberate step towards large-scale diversification and volumes, establishing really what I would call the foundation for continuous worldwide growth. Obviously, as we apply our proprietary technologies to these different destinations, we will see increased margins and reinvigorated revenues for the carriers that we work with, not only for Minutes Network, but also for Minutes Network. Under our hyperscaling model, margins are newly, in newly activated countries are or will be at pre-optimization levels, which is natural for this sort of phase of the rollout. As we progressively integrate our proprietary optimization technologies, Jingle and the Revenue Turbine, etc., those margins will strengthen and increase substantially, or are set to, and that will improve the rate competitiveness in the market, and that will naturally attract even more customers and subsequently volumes to the network. So, just to provide you with even more insight to some of the countries that we can see coming live, the Philippines, USA, Canada, UK, Jamaica, various countries in the Middle East, as previously mentioned. I think there was some news announced early that there was an article being shared around that we haven't yet posted from a PR agency. And that particular article was referring to one country in the Middle East, but there are a couple of countries in the Middle East that we're working on bringing live or already have live in the lab. And we'll move on to the lab in just a second. There are many more countries in other regions that are expected to go live on the Explorer in due course. And all of this obviously directly supports the upcoming expansion of Jingle, where we'll be directly reaching out to the high frequency callees across the networks. That type of integration is key to enabling 100% revenue capture on all the calls routed via our system via Jingle. This obviously significantly increases the overall revenue generated and margins, whilst, as I said earlier, simultaneously reinvigorating partnering or interconnecting carriers' profitability as well. So very exciting. The cycle itself is, I would say, self-reinforcing. As we optimize the network and rates become more attractive, naturally the volume grows and the network's efficiency sort of compounds, driving Minutes Network towards what I would call sustainable global scale in a very beautiful way for the carriers that are and enterprises that are taking part. So let's move on. What about Nigeria? We are continuing to push aggressively for both on the ground and digital expansion in Nigeria. One of the most strategically important markets is Nigeria in our roadmap. The effort sort of spans multiple fronts, from clearinghouses and Jingle integration with applications to even government-driven led initiatives, licensing, call centers, again, calling card networks, and more. So in recent weeks, we did see Nigeria reappear on the public network Explorer, and I'm pleased to report that it's remained fully stable since. It's a critical milestone in restoring and expanding our footprint in one of Africa's largest and most dynamic regions for telco. Nigeria itself, like Pakistan, represents an enormous opportunity. There are more than 240 million people in Nigeria. The calling rates are very high. There's a huge growing demand for both voice and SMS delivery that sort of shows no signs of slowing down to us. To give you some perspective on that, and sort of some information that I can share, one of our close partners that we are already interconnected with currently runs more than 60 E1s of voice traffic into Nigeria, and that's roughly 900 active ports of live capacity. I think that they're already positioned and eager to migrate as much of that traffic as possible through our network as the integrations and agreements and infrastructure readiness stabilize and continue to expand. So the moment we go live at full capacity in Nigeria, existing traffic volumes have been prepared, and as soon as we have the capacity to support these volumes, it will all transition, or the majority will transition to Minutes Network almost immediately. It's really a powerful validation of the demand we're seeing, and once the region is fully active, the scale is absolutely the scale potential is absolutely immense. So moving on from Nigeria, applications. We have various applications that are in different stages of integration. The Jingle applications integrations continue to progress steadily. There are major integrations scheduled for completion during Q4 this year, and the substantial potential in terms of capability to directly terminate new traffic via these integrations, particularly in regions where our integrations have strong population coverage. We're extremely close in activating in a large portion of regions like USA and Jamaica, the Philippines, Kosovo, Albania, and there are some additional regions as well. Some of the applications provide, 40, 60 countries at once in terms of, actual ability to terminate calls. So all of these, when live, they contribute to a significant potential increase in live network activity and traffic volumes on the network, as you know. Hyperscaling. We haven't talked about hyperscaling for quite a while. I don't know if you saw the most recent Twitter post. It was said that hyperscaling continues. It does indeed. Hyperscaling is licensed traditional traffic combined with our proprietary technologies to bring massive traffic to our network with increased margins. We do have a special marketing mechanism or two to bring frequent callees online to our network. We can predict the value of each of those frequent callees individually before we bring them to the network. So it's a very, very nice system that we have here. We do have an internal portal where we're able to communicate with our partners and interconnections on the onboarding of these users. So it's something that we are testing. We're seeing a very good conversion rate in different countries, and every user that we convert to sort of utilize our technologies and install an application locally, we're receiving 100%, near to 100% of the call revenue for those users. So it's a very, very big focus for us. It takes traditional telco from being marginally profitable into being extremely special in terms of what's possible. I mean, the reinvigoration of revenues for the interconnecting carriers is sort of where it's at, right? We win the traffic every time. There's no match in the LCR. We find ourselves in a very special position as a company, especially when we talk about these things at the trade shows and exhibitions, etc. The revenue turbine will switch on. The revenue turbine on foundational traffic that we've built. We've got it running. It's in a very good position, but it will switch on all traffic on the network in the very near future. And I'll give you some insights as to how the Explorer is going to display that very shortly. But yeah, so, hyperscaling, crossing licensed traditional traffic with our proprietary technologies being used on that traditional traffic to optimize and increase margins, not just for us, but for our partners and interconnected carriers too. I mentioned the lab. We have a lot of countries running in the lab right now. We don't push countries public until they're stable, until they are, in a position where they're not going to go down. We understand what it's like to see a country go up and go down. Therefore, we ensure that everything is stable before we put it out. We do, vigorous testing with our interconnected partners, and we ensure that generally the network is in a good state to run the traffic before we try to ramp it up. We will see the ramping up of select traffic on the network across the year. It is a very exciting time. Minutes Network is in a very special position, and we're grateful to all of our partners, interconnections, and the general communities that support Minutes Network in its mission. So there's also preliminary sort of SMS testing results to release as well. I won't go into too much detail on those, but we have tested SMS in a number of countries under a number of different initiatives, and we're very excited for what we see. SMS is just like sort of voice traffic. It's abundantly available. Some destinations have more than others. The rate is, varies between different countries, but as we bring more and more SMS traffic onto the network, it will be apparent that it's an absolute driver of scale and performance itself. So very excited for that report to be released and that information to be released in an upcoming announcement. In terms of licenses, it was said that Minutes Network is working and its partners are working to acquire licenses globally to sort of scale and proceed with the hyperscaling method of scale. We acquired in Pakistan. We've acquired in numerous other countries. There'll be some PR coming out. If you haven't seen it already, I'm sure you might have seen one or two. There'll be some additional PR released. We will release it on the official channels when the time is correct. We'd like to make a large release rather than a sort of single file release. But we have applied for a stir and shaken license. We are currently applying for a stir and shaken license in the USA, the United States of America, to facilitate US call center traffic. And in accordance with national telecom authentication standards, we'll be passing that call center traffic at a huge volumes. And alongside this, a range of additional licenses, approximately I would say 8 or 9 in total, including one for Mexico, have either been submitted or are in the process of being submitted or acquired. And these steps further expand our ability to handle verified voice traffic across key global regions. Right, it strengthens our network's operational footprint, provides additional service credibility to our customers and interconnections, and as said, these licenses provide the backbone for the hyperscale model, which is, for anybody who just joined, the combination of our technologies and traditional telco traffic. So, lots to talk about on the licenses, lots of news to be released, lots of announcements to be made in the near future. And obviously, you'll see the countries, if you're looking, come online as they come out of testing. So, conferences, in terms of conferences or partnerships, interconnections, we're doing very well. Enterprise level customers, carrier customers are building like no tomorrow, and other key entities as well. The most recent carrier conferences provided, a decent amount of connections per sort of conference that we visited, a decent amount of interconnections, a decent amount of new potential partnerships. Obviously, we rekindle and sort of meet with our existing relationships with carriers and enterprises as well. They prove highly productive for us as a company. In the last visit to Capacity Europe in London, multiple new interconnections were established, and several of them are now in the final stages of execution. So, and some of the industry's most recognized names are actually at those conferences, and they are very interested in what we're doing. I won't mention any of the names today because it might spoil a future announcement, but let me tell you, companies, Fortune 500 companies, very, very large companies, are all very interested in what we have to offer. We actually demoed a voice-based LLM over what's called a DID. It's a direct inward dial number, and we demonstrated that on the stand for people to come by and have a look at. There's not too many people doing too much advanced movements in the industry with AI. Obviously, voice AI is massive. Hopefully, Henri is going to tell us a little bit about his recent experiences in voice AI. Just so you know, enterprise traffic is growing absolutely huge, and voice AI, I think it accounts for, I don't want to give you the numbers right now, but it accounts for a huge amount of traffic worldwide. It is growing as well. We do have Minutes Network is absolutely compatible with voice AI traffic and provides advantages over existing carriers that might terminate it as well. Our partners work directly with huge names, and we are in massive talks. So let's see where the voice AI traffic goes. It will be clearly distinguishable on the Explorer as well. You'll be able to understand which type of traffic is running where and how its sort of performance is doing as well. So official announcements will follow in due course. We are expanding our potential global reach, capacity, and of course traffic volumes with this AI integration. So a lot of news to take on. The network is growing. We do have more product offerings. Our product set is expanding. A new Minutes Network website is, as you know from our last AMAs, also being worked on and released, featuring comprehensive details on all of our latest products and services. The new roadmap will also be published alongside the website or immediately after the website launch. So this next generation website is designed to be more interactive, allowing our customers, partners, enterprises, carriers, and any other entities to sign up directly to access and utilize key network services. Not all of the services can be signed up to immediately, but some of them can. And that sort of streamlines the onboarding process for us as a business and accelerates collaboration opportunities. In terms of our anti-fraud solutions, obviously state of the art, from nuisance call detection to IPRN, international premium rate number detection, and even SIM-box detection. Our proprietary software and techniques enable us to excel in this area. So we do have a lot of development around that. There is a bit more on that to talk about, but I think we'll save that for a later session, because I think we're going to do a dedicated session on with Unity as well, to discuss how it's tackling some of these problems, who with, why, and just to give some more sort of insight. So you might expect a dedicated Unity session to be announced in the near future. Obviously, Unity, there are multiple exciting updates and announcements that are planned, reflecting the rapid progress across the ecosystem. I would stay tuned for further details on this, and this next phase will be one of the most significant yet for Unity. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. Minutes Network Explorer, we mentioned that, it's on the way. It features more metrics and deeper analytics than ever before. The upcoming release will include a fully integrated API, allowing switch and validation operators to connect their wallets directly through the partnering MNTX Explorer to access detailed performance statistics and additional insights. I would say that there are more than 50 or 75 points of detail on the Minutes Network Explorer, covering everything from Jingle to hyperscaling, traditional traffic to the revenue turbine, and anything else that we could add. We've sort of given as much visibility as possible there on our new technologies and existing technologies. So this, I will say it again, this next generation Explorer will provide, I would say, unprecedented visibility into both types of old and new innovations, and network performance and ecosystem activity. So the BuyBot, there is a lot of talk about the BuyBot. There has been a new deployment of a BuyBot, and we are watching it, and we are waiting for feedback. We're waiting for reports. Everything looks okay as it stands. Obviously, that's run by a dedicated team, and I am in touch with that team. Let's keep eyes on the BuyBot and see that everything is as expected. It is algorithmic, it is random. If it doesn't buy in one day, it's designed not to buy in that day. That's so that nobody can guess when it's going to buy and when it's not going to buy. Okay. I do think we will release more information on the BuyBot once we're sure that it's, running at our expected perfect level, okay, or reliability level, I should say. So, outstanding and special times, gents or ladies and gents, simply brilliant. And that really brings me to the end of today's updates. There are several key developments that remain under wraps for now, as I said earlier, and we will announce those as agreements are finalized. So in addition to this, an upcoming scaling communication session where we'll be taking all questions relating to scaling, doing a deep dive into some of the different integrations, perhaps even doing a live demonstration of the revenue turbine on screen. And we'll also be hosting an additional telecommunications roundtable. It was mentioned previously, but there hasn't been a follow-up post. So just to confirm, there will be a telecommunications roundtable hosted. It will feature executives from across the industry alongside members of our team, and it will be announced in the near future. So these sessions are obviously designed to provide deeper insights into our ongoing expansion, the strategic partnerships in place, the integrations, and the next general phases of growth for the network. So I've talked a lot. Gary, over to you for the question time.
Well, thank you very much, Josh. I know you're enthusiastic to get to the questions, but I'm going to give you a chance to breathe for a moment. It is always appreciated that you take so much time out of your intense schedule for the community, but don't go away. We will need you back for the Q&A, but first, I'm going to bring up Omri, and he's going to talk about hyperscaling because he's pushing the focus forwards, and I know everybody is keen to get an insight from the sharp end. So, Omri, over to you.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Josh. And hey, everyone, it's great to be here. It's been a while. It's been a couple of months since I last joined you guys on an AMA. So great to be here. And good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, everyone on the community. I wanted to share some key updates from the past few months. We'll obviously touch up on Jingle, as Josh already covered some of our progress on app onboarding. But first, I want to start with the horizon that I'm personally ecstatic about and had, developments on in the last few months. And by that, I'm referring to the enterprise markets. So let me just jump in and explain what we're referring to when we say enterprise markets or enterprise in general. We basically mean any company that's running a large-scale voice operation through contact centers. It can be literally anyone from, leading platforms on e-commerce, communication. When I say communication, I'm referring to telephony or video conferencing companies with some brands that I'm sure you know, financial service providers, which can be any of the financial service providers you think of, literally anyone who's running a contact center, whether it's for the purpose of supporting customers through customer support or sales desks. Literally underneath those, and that really goes across the board, there's the second tier of small, medium enterprises that run call centers to actually support the big companies across the board. And, just to give you guys an idea, according to the ITU, call centers traffic on voice constitutes about 35% of the global voice traffic annually. And that's as of last year, as of 2024. So we're looking basically at like 1/3 of the global traffic out there. And it's extremely interesting to see that when we're looking at the enterprise markets, which is what I've spent time doing over the last few months and sort of like researching the space, which this is part that falls under my responsibility in Minutes Network, and is literally classic business development work, is to understand that for the enterprise market out there, the value and needs go way above the dollar per minute point. These guys have substantial needs that we have mapped and realized that these customers, these potential prospects, face challenges that relates to telecommunication that, like I said, are way beyond just the dollar per minute cost. And I'll give you an idea about what I'm referring to, because the joyful part of it was realizing that through our existing infrastructure, we can support their needs big time. And sorry, just to give you an idea, we're talking about their needs for traceability and auditability. We're talking about their needs around fraud and spoofing, quality and latency, compliance and data sovereignty. These are all needs that are dictated per industry, either by the enterprise itself or through the regulatory framework around them. If you think about a financial institute that can be a bank or a major credit card company, their call centers are obliged with very strict regulatory requirements. And right now, existing solutions out there, existing platforms out there to support telecommunication cannot provide a full coverage of the enterprise customer needs. They find themselves in a situation where they need to use multiple solutions just to address their, whether it's regulatory compliance or internal auditing needs, that just goes around telecommunication. And, just to use simple terms so everyone understand what I'm referring to, it's, for example, understanding the routes that a call took in between the call center and the individual that they were dialing to or was dialing in, whether it's for the purpose of identity verification or whatnot. They are required to log and be ready for audits on making sure that they are in compliance. And that's just an example for a requirement. And our blockchain powered network is literally designed to verify each call and enhance secure efficiency routing. So that was sort of an eye opener when looking at the needs of the enterprise market and realizing, hold on, with what we've already deployed in between the Mintech stack of technologies and our decentralized node infrastructure, we can actually provide way more than the classic per minute termination. Our distributed node architectures support security, regulatory alignment, and cost efficiency. So this is sort of like a holy triangle when we're looking at what this market needs. And again, reminding you that this constitutes about 1/3 of the global voice traffic. So for us internally, this was an eye opener. And from there on, with leadership blessing, we took a few steps forward. So, I'll give you some examples. Josh mentioned a lot of it when he was talking. Enterprise is a big, big buzzword, and it goes across the board with any industry. And, like everything we do, we're trying to remain focused. So I'll give you an example through one of the first markets that we found ourselves storming into. And Josh mentioned voice AI. So I'll talk about that more extensively right now. Agentic voice AI or voice agents has been an emerging market for the last 12 to maybe 14, 15 months at most. Much like AI is a huge buzzword, everyone are talking about it, but this emerging market for enterprises just showed up out of nowhere in the last year plus. And it showed up on our radar very big. And we actually took a deep dive into it. So right now, the way it's being portrayed, fresh new market, there's not too much established analysis out there, but based on the figures that are already there, we're looking at one of the fastest growing sectors in telecom right now. And in simple terms, when I mention agentic voice AI or voice AI agents, we're referring to an voice AI that handles inbound and outbound calls for a call center in a very coherent and cohesive way, and basically revolutionizing everything the telecom industry has known about managing a call center. They are basically changing everything from an operational perspective, conversions perspective, cost efficiency, and whatnot. Goes without saying, it changes the way that humans interact with call centers today from both consumer and call center perspective. We're seeing a huge increase in the numbers of calls that a call center can now handle all of a sudden. It's really insane how fast the adoption of voice AI is going into call centers. And as much as it was fast through 2025, which is not over yet, we're expecting a peak based on analysis as we go into 2026. Now, like I said, this is still an emerging market, but the foreseeable changes, and one that I'm keeping my eyes on the most, is the increase of calls that will start taking place between agents, between AI agents, further decreasing the human factor in between. That can go across the board again from closing on a vacation for an individual without any human involvement. It can go into the financial sector. It can really be anywhere we can imagine. All of us have been using the internet and have been using those times where we need to contact a call center, whether it's for our online traveling planning, whether it's for our financial needs, whether it's when we're ordering something online. And now voice AI is entering into this space, and I want to just take you to the foreseeable outcome. We're seeing through analysis a sharp increase in the number of voice minutes that are now carried out by voice AI agents. So the total supply of minutes that we've been seeing so far is expected to increase. Now, just to give you an idea, through one market analysis, there is an expectation to see more than 50 billion minutes of voice driven by AI in the coming couple of years. And that is a substantial increase. Now, let's start talking about where we fit in here, because there's also, when we're seeing emerging markets with these type of technologies and how it affects legacy industries like telecom, there's also challenges involved. And the main challenge that AI systems and call centers are now experiencing is that legacy telecom infrastructures are built for humans, not for AI. And so they face anything from latency to compliance, interoperability issues, and of course, it always comes down to cost as well. So while we do see a future where we'll have AI agents talking to each other and talking to humans, and even as we speak right now, at some point an AI voice agent need to transfer the call to a human operator. Now, the policies and regulations for this entire space are being written as we speak. This is how emerging and early this market is compared to the sharp incline we've seen in adoption. Now, Josh mentioned earlier our compliance with SteerShaken framework that is basically imposed or dictated by the United States FCC, the Ministry of Communication. And this is just a great example to show how we fitted ourselves so fast into this industry. So, like I said earlier, we recognized how our node-powered infrastructure could support the needs and challenges that I just introduced to you guys, and combining that with what we can provide as a decentralized cryptographic verification, it basically opens the door to handle the challenges as they're being presented. And to move fast, we're partnering with companies like Cloudonix. I believe most of you have seen an announcement about our partnership. In a nutshell, Cloudonix is a platform, a CPaaS platform. It's communication platform as a service that was built from the ground up to support voice AI. And just to take, again, I like to try and simplify things. So for call centers today to adopt voice AI is a huge headaches. I mean, these guys barely wrapped up the adoption of chatbots with WhatsApp and other communication platforms, and now they need to integrate voice AI. It's a huge headache from so many different considerations, and that's why when we partnered with Cloudonix is because they basically built an elastic, very flexible platform that makes the adoption of voice AI nearly seamless for call centers. And through that adoption curve, they've also identified some of the challenges, such as the one that Josh mentioned with SteerShaken. And, I'll dive into that. And, with that, it actually gives me huge pleasure to share that with the community as well. From the minute we kicked off our partnership with Cloudonix and basically combined, and pardon me for the semi-militant metaphor, but we took our technology, which I'm referring to as the warhead, and combined that with Cloudonix's launchpad to build a tremendous solution for this market. It took us 3 weeks to put in place a solution. And, we've onboarded 3 customers in less than 3 weeks, handling more than 150,000 AI-driven call minutes through this solution. And where it gets better is that we managed to implement what's called a level A attestation in alignment with the SteerShaken FCC standard to address the AI compliance challenges. So the reason we did that is because this solution was not available. And for call center operators to be able to comply with this standard, which basically puts an obligation on the call center operator to verify and authenticate the caller IDs to prevent spoofing and frauds and a bunch of other fraud detection related aspects. And to be able to get that level of what the industry refers to as a level A attestation, we were able to do that in a nutshell. And combined with the Cloudonix platform, we were able to onboard customer in a light speed. And more so, I'm happy to share that those customers who are currently extremely satisfied abandoned industry leading platforms because no one else was out there to offer what we're offering. And that was happening, like I said, in less than 3 weeks. And so from here on, we're very focused on scaling this offering and scale ourselves in the call center space for the adoption of voice AI, because I believe personally that we found an emerging market that is not just fast growing, it constitutes almost a reform in this entire industry. And I'll just share this as a personal perspective. And that's what I told Josh and my colleagues here in the company when we first saw the figures and needs. The last time I've seen something similar was back in 2009, coming to 2010, when machine to machine turned into IoT. And overnight, we've seen millions of devices that are now seeking an IP address and looking for bandwidth on the internet. And I believe that with this, we're facing something very similar. So, extremely excited about this. You can expect more partnerships, more announcement, as Josh already indicated. I believe that very shortly we'll be seeing all of that performance wide in the open, and we are looking to be laser focused sharp throughout 2026 moving forward, because I'm personally looking to conquer this market niche, which is literally a market on its own. And through that, we can keep scaling into other enterprises that are seeking for similar needs. Just before I wrap up this part of the segment, I just want to make sure I keep simplicity in place. So when you're thinking of call centers that are operated by, whether it's an industry giant or even a small, medium enterprise that drives certain traffic, I mean, combined, we're looking at millions of voice minutes every day. When you're looking at their needs, right now they are using multiple telecom solutions to just cover their business. By partnering with companies like Cloudonix and bringing our A game together with what they've developed, we're basically, I would love if any of you guys are familiar with platforms like Wix.com for website creation, or even WordPress, that took something that used to be complex and turn it into something anyone can do by simple what you see is what you get, drag and drop. This is basically the solution that we are now putting in place for enterprises. We're just telling them, here is a platform, you can connect anything to this platform, and through widgets and drags and drops, you can build your flow, whether it's for compliance purposes, whether it's for performance, quality, rates, of course. And as you can imagine, when looking at platforms like Cloudonix, Minutes Network is becoming the default solution for A to Z routing for any destination that a customer, a call center, would like to dial into. So for us, guys, this is a huge, huge opportunity. I'm personally ecstatic about it. I got the privilege to sort of like spearhead this on behalf of our company. And I believe this will be a main harbor for Minutes Network revenue across the board. And with that, I'll just go back to update you on Jingle. Josh already did most of the update for me. But yes, we have kept on onboarding more applications, more developers. I was specifically focused on Jamaica and a couple of other territories. We kept on seeing the very same reception I've updated before. And, you know, with the last update I just gave you on the enterprise market and specifically voice AI, it got us to this blessed point where we needed to start growing our commercial team. So now I'm working with Josh and the other members of leadership on hiring more people with very specific professional DNA, commercial DNA, so we can keep scaling the Jingle operation with mobile applications and keep onboarding and keep scaling there, while I will probably be focusing the majority of my personal efforts on growing the enterprise market. So that's my update for today. I can talk about this for hours and hours, but I don't have that time here. I need to share the stage with my colleagues here. So Gary, back to you. And of course, I'll be happy to answer more questions about the space and look forward to be here again with more updates in the future. Thanks for having me, guys.
Omri, thank you very much indeed. There's a real buzz in the air, especially about the innovation. And we wish you and the team great success as you push forward unrelentingly. Next, then, let's turn to Jamie King, our Have Passport Will Travel CMO.
What's up, Minutes
And
fam?
Jamie, over to you.
Yeah, live and direct from TechCrunch Disrupt in San Francisco. And I don't know, I'm super excited about listening to Omri just now. And I think Lightspeed Nutshells is going to have to go up there alongside 50 for 25. And I apologize for the background noise. Like I said, I am here at the conference. It's a real privilege to be here. We are a guest of Polkadot. We're surrounded by an incredible mix of innovators and builders and investors. There's great energy here. And, you know, of course, energy at the events that we attend is always electric because I'm here representing the entire Minutes Network ecosystem. And I'm just talking to everyone. It's really good being here at the Polkadot booth. They've done a bang up job. And it's a great platform, for a brilliant platform, right, for us to represent everything about Minutes Network. And to, you know, we're surrounded by like very forward thinking teams and people. Interestingly, one of the partners here is Accurast, and we're starting to have a big conversation about eSIMs and all their eSIM needs. So, you know, as always, we're very targeted with these events and why we come. There's always a reason. There's some interesting voice AI companies here. I'll be grabbing all of the literature and bringing it back to give over to Omri. Of course, I like this event for us. Very different mix of businesses and attendees. Obviously, North America, you know, sort of slightly outside of our normal ecosystems. And it's great validation, you know, from everything I'm seeing here. Communications technology, it remains at the heart of innovation. And of course, so I'm, you know, talking to everybody and evangelizing left, right, and center. We've said it before, we'll say it again. We like these events. We've been sort of conquering and dividing the telecom events, the Web3 events, tech events like this, because it is a fantastic opportunity to build the relationships, especially create trust, and then obviously open new conversations. And I think the fact we're here, you saw yesterday, we're an official partner, and these events underlines the value of being face-to-face in sharing what we're building and, you know, kind of exploring where the collaborations can go. Because, you know, 5 months ago, I was at Sports Business Summit on a panel. I was there networking. I met BD guy at Magenta Labs, John. We started having really good conversations. I mentioned the word node and Minutes Network and our mission and our vision, and he sparked, and we kept the conversations going. Polkadot had a booth next to ours at Rare Evo. We then saw him again, you know, in Singapore. He got to meet Vlad, and now we've cemented the partnership and we've announced it, and here we are at their booth, and it's, you know, we're very grateful to the fantastic marketing support that we've received. I'm personally incredibly proud of our team and the post of the progress that we're making now. I think it's been outstanding. Singapore, San Francisco, capacity, strong showings left, right, and center. And I think our presence is really sort of continuing to expand. And now that we're able to sort of showcase our products and our technologies, and you sort of think about the enterprise section and everything that's coming with Unity, where we're going in Minutes Network, it's brilliant. So I apologize, and it's very loud and busy here. Great energy. I think we're just smashing it. There's more to come. Can't share every detail yet. It's all moving in the right direction. We've got a nice taste of announcements. They're going to keep coming. So a big shout out to all of you for your support, to all of our partners, and for all the collaboration. And I'm just going to keep flying the flag here, and I'm going to crush it for the rest of the show. Every minute counts. Gary, back to you.
Jamie, amazing stuff. Great to hear from you. Sounds like you're having a lot of fun there. Not too much fun, I hope. And I'm sure
Always having
many.
fun, Gary. Always having fun.
Yeah. And counting the air miles. I'm not sure. I'm sure many people in the community, if not everybody, saw the Polkadot announcement yesterday. And everyone should know that you've moved mountains to make that happen. So great stuff and keep it coming. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Okay, so now it's the time for community questions. So Josh, if you're still with us, I hope you are. Time for you back and take the hot seat, and and he'll give you the latest assessment. So Josh, if you're ready, let's go.
Gary, I'm always ready, and I'm always with you and us. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so question number one. I haven't got a name for this one, so that's unusual. But is there any difference in the earnings per phone? For example, 1 or 1,000 licenses are being run at a single location.
Geographic diversity does drive performance and value, both in terms of clients and Unity participants. I guess the real power of the Edge network, or the largest Edge network in the world, is to create the most diverse Edge network possible. So that's the reason that we don't sell farming equipment, or however you'd like to call it. We recommend, I think, what did I say before? 15, 20. Look, it doesn't really matter. It does work if you have a lot of phones in one place. It's fine. But for the best outcome for the network and certain tasks, multiple devices can be run from a single location, whilst other tasks might benefit, if they have further distribution. And that's not just benefit the license operator, that's benefit the network's geodiversity sort of distribution as a whole.
Okay, thank you. I've just realised, everybody, this first set of questions, no one's been identified, so I haven't intended to upset anyone, or everyone, maybe everyone. Let me just ask the questions that I've got in front of me. Josh, when setting up the Unity application, do you have to call a verification number shown in the app, or do you need a SIM card to call this number?
No, you don't need a SIM card to run Unity or operate Unity or to set up Unity. It is absolutely optional. Unity does not make calls or SMSs from a SIM card.
Okay. Now, this question, I know lots of people are thinking about this because we've been getting questions on when's Unity being released, but has the Unity app been submitted to the App Store yet?
Great. So the Unity release, this is actually planned for an announcement later today, but the Unity release will be October the 31st. It will be available for direct download from the website. It will also be submitted to the store on the 31st of October.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Now, how about iOS and Android phones? Is there any difference in the rewards a user can generate based on a different type of device they're using?
Not really. They're both good for different things. We do need a diverse network. So if people have iOS, if people have Android, that's fantastic. If they're different models, that's also great. I don't mean different models as an operator. I mean generally over the network, right? The more diversity we have, the more valuable the proposition to any enterprise or carrier or other entity that will be using our network. So I would say that Android is flexible and cheap. So whilst iOS devices will be still strongly revenue generative, they may not be able to support the if it was only iOS. We want diversity, right? We want a diverse network here.
Okay, thank you for that. Sergio Gordon, you're lucky you got named in a question. So this is all about Wi-Fi and cellular data. Cellular data. Is there, uh, given that both are reliable in a particular location, would a device earn the same rewards if on SIM plus Wi-Fi versus just being on SIM?
Uptime is truly incentivized. Stability is incentivized. Most tasks rely on the data channel and function the same, whether it's using Wi-Fi or mobile network data. I must tell you that each task is different from each task, and it's we want diversity. So if we have some on mobile, some on Wi-Fi, it really doesn't matter. Um, there are a small number of tasks that do require a SIM card data connection, but the difference in overall usage is minimal.
Okay. And is there any difference in job execution between 4G and 5G phones? And also, then this is quite a technical question. If somebody only uses the motherboard of a phone and controls it by a PC, will this count?
We haven't tested. There's so many different motherboard sort of connectors to computers, and there's so many different manufacturers. It really, would be. I haven't tested enough of those to be able to give you an accurate answer, but I can tell you that there's no difference between 4G and 5G or 3G and 2G. We're really looking for that diversity.
Okay, now here's a question from Peter. I don't know who Peter is, but this is your question, Peter. Um, for Wi-Fi, is there a big difference in those having to use satellite, for example, Starlink, compared to fiber?
Yes, we have no experience in deploying versus satellite phones, but in general, the more diversity, the better.
Okay, so here's a question from Fenway Air Nodes. Is your reliability score as an operator better with more leased licenses? Assuming all have 100% uptime, does a node operator with 100 active licenses generate more per license than one with 50 active licenses?
No, it's treated individually. So the reliability score is linked to the individual license operator, with each operator's device statistics serving as the primary measure of their reliability. They're not linked in any way. Um, every Unity node includes 200 user licenses, creating the potential for 1.2 million endpoints across the edge network. And the greater the number of active licenses with high reliability scores, the higher the overall value of the Unity network will be perceived, and the higher the utilization rate. As this, reliability leads to an increase in both the quantity and quality of the tasks that we can obtain and the tasks that will be provided, ultimately benefiting the entire ecosystem.
Well, thank you, Josh, for that. Another technical question here. Can Unity nodes be run on other hardware, or is it something special about running Unity on phones?
Unity can run on all mobile devices, not just phones, for example, also tablets, but we haven't verified. There's so many different versions of tablets and models, and they all have different hardware. I really can't, give you the absolute guarantee that it can run on tablets. That being said, as long as it's running Android or iOS and you have a stable connection or Wi-Fi connection or data connection, then there's no reason it couldn't run.
Okay. Well, here's a cheeky question. It's a good one, actually. If if this is such a big idea, why aren't the network carriers doing this themselves with their own apps on their own phones?
Well, I'm sure they are. They're limited to one network. Generally, carriers do have overseas operations where they might have several networks, 20 different countries they're deployed in. Some of our partners that we're signing on to the network now to deliver traffic, voice and SMS, they have, huge operations globally. That being said, they don't have the reach that a distributed network has, and they don't have the same ability to flexibly set up devices on networks. So, whilst I can't comment on other solutions, no one has the capacity to build a scaled edge network with the huge international diversity from a centralized perspective.
Okay, thank you. DZ now asks, if your phone is locked with your carrier, would it still manage to run Unity if it was run exclusively on Wi-Fi?
Yes, Unity will work just with the Wi-Fi connection being active. We'll be able to execute all tasks with the potential exception of a couple of tasks that require SIM cards. Generally, the answer is yes.
Thank you. Khaled asks, can I set rules for licenses so that they're automated? And when people choose my licenses, the percentages are set by me before they accept them.
Yes, that's how it works. As the node operator, you can set or negotiate performance criteria with your license operators. And there's also an option to have preset values for all leased licenses that are on the marketplace or taken via referrals.
Thank you. Edgy Bruno asks, if I lease out a license and the licensee has poor uptime and then I then revoke the license, will that poor uptime still be associated with the revoked license?
The poor performance or non-performance will be reflected until the license is reassigned and the performance improves. The license is not damaged by somebody running it in a bad way. It's the history is reset per lease or per device that the license is running on. What Unity needs is stability and reliability and diversity. So that's sort of key here.
You'll love the next question because you haven't got enough work to do at the moment. Um, will there be some sort of message system if you lease to warn people? If you lease to warn people who haven't got the great availability to improve this for maximum rewards?
So I remember this question from last time. In the initial version, there won't be a direct communication system because you don't actually require it to operate. However, there are alert messages that will inform and warn the license operator in case an event occurs whereby they are in violation of the minimum requirements, such as uptime. In later releases, there will be, possibly in-app communications between operators of all types.
Okay, great. Now the next question from Koya75 is quite long and involved, so let me take it slowly so you can appreciate it. Would it be possible to implement a feature for node operators that allows them to set auto expiration time spans for these licenses? And the thinking behind that is a node operator has just 400 licenses, I think that's 200, 400 licenses, but a community of 5,000 people who would like to lease. Licenses could be set to auto revoke after a set period, at which time the license will be returned to the bank of available licenses for others to use. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense?
Yes, the node license NFTs hold 200 user licenses each. Okay, so each leased license can have a preset duration defined by the node license operator or be set individually. Once the lease duration has expired, or if the license operator fails to meet the minimum operating requirements or criteria, the license will automatically be returned to the pool of available licenses.
Okay, thank you. Now, Marcus Ripkins asks the following: is the Unity, and I presume it's license operator, protected against license revocation when the operator has not violated any contract agreements?
Operators retain administrative control over licenses consistent with platform terms of use and reliability components. The node license operator can revoke a license at any time. So whether that's due to underperformance or for any other reason, the remaining active days of the Unity license operator subscription will remain valid and can be applied to a new owned or leased license. And of course, if a Unity license operator is performing well and generating rewards, there would be no reason for the node license operator to revoke that license operator, the Unity license operator
Thank you.
himself.
Thank you, Josh. Crypto Connoisseur asks, I have a potential client with 100 operators, their company phones. Is there or will there be a way to set admin restrictions on the batch of licenses so the end users can't see rewards?
Yeah, we saw this as feedback. Definitely appreciated. It's a nice concept. It isn't available in the first release, but we can look into this for the next release. There will be multiple Unity upgrades per month. We're looking probably at a 2-week cycle, unless there's something very major, and then obviously we'll let you know. But yeah, we'll be consistently updating. We'll be consistently innovating, and it's really exciting.
Brilliant. Carvin Stephen now wants to know how the referrals work. For example, if a node holder leases a license to person A, who then refers 10 other license operators, does any of the referral bonus go back to the node holder, or does it all go to person A?
So, more information regarding the referral system will be released in an announcement. I can't give you that information today. I do apologize.
Okay. Well, we can't answer everything all the time. Afrogenius wants to know, will license operators be able to refer from within the app and earn from the referrals?
We haven't made any formal decisions on this yet. It's something for the future. Yes, the answer is yes, but it's under evaluation because there are a couple of ways to implement this, and they're both interesting for different reasons. So whilst we make a decision, the functionality is there, but it won't be enabled immediately.
Okay, Afrogenius continues, how many degrees of referral might people earn from?
So I think we will announce the full details of this referral program with the launch of round 2.
Okay, but he's persistent, Afrogenius, I'll give him that. How will this work with owner available licenses? On the same details as the license operates, operator shared from or node owner sets new parameters. Sorry, let me read that again. How will this work with node owner available licenses?
Okay, so custom leasing terms may be discussed directly between participants in accordance with applicable laws and platform policies. The parameters and conditions for each leased or referred license can be configured directly within the application itself. And all leased and referred licenses, which are essentially treated as leased licenses, will operate under the same standard conditions. Of course, node license operators may also choose to lease licenses under customized terms through private agreements if they desire.
Thank you. Now from EP EarthPath. Are the personalized node referral codes the same as the ones for leasing, or will there be other codes separate from the node referral codes?
There will be separate referral codes.
Thank you. Now from Hello. I don't know if his name is Hello Question One, or I think his name is Hello. Is the author of the question regarding the interesting post we put out and then withdrew? Holders who own 3 or more Unity nodes in round 1 will be granted a special permanent privilege. If someone owns various Unity nodes but has them in different wallets, how are you going to track this?
So we have our mechanisms. If we were to tell you, then verification may also be supported via registered user details, and that is correct. For those, everybody will be granted a special permanent privilege that participates in round 1. However, for those who operate 3 or more Unity nodes, there will be an additional special permanent privilege granted.
Okay, I guess that will come out when we a later stage. Can we move? Hello asked another question, which is, can we move nodes from wallets if needed?
Yes, that's always possible. You can send the license or NFT license to any wallet you wish, and any leased licenses would not be affected by this move.
Okay, now David J99 wants to know. Someone asked about holding 3 Unity nodes. What does this give you, and when will we know before round 2?
Well, as I said before, this information will be available at the same time as the launch of round 2.
Okay, back to EP EarthPath. He's popping up everywhere. Is the 199 fee cost referring to the rewards calculator on the website, or is this with extra services with the more expensive fee being introduced later on?
No, so initially the monthly fee is set to $199 USD, but it could increase to $399 in the future, as I previously explained in the last AMA, as our services expand. As services and if earnings potential expand, we reserve the right to increase the qualifying fees in the future for particular services. Obviously, it's our sort of intention to have the network running at its utmost capacity at all times, and we definitely won't be introducing the $399 service fee with sort of immediate effect. It will only be $199 to begin with. We'll sort of build the network out, add additional partners, add additional services to be provided by the API and by the participants in creating the Edge network itself. And we'll see how the expansion goes.
Thank you for that. Now, I know you've answered this question that Fenway Air Nodes asked next. I know you've answered it specifically during what you said earlier, but I'll ask it again so you can clarify it in case anybody wasn't here for the beginning of the session. When is the official release date of the app, Unity app?
You'll be able to download the Unity application from the website on the 31st of October.
Thank you for that. Now, a question from Richard. Will the Unity app be downloadable from the Unity website instead of the Google's Play Store from day one?
I think we've just answered that. Yes, we will submit it straight away, and we will submit the application with in line with all of the requirements and guidelines. So we expect there to be absolutely no delay.
Thank you.
Plus, you can use the application from the website immediately with zero delay.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks for clarifying. Sergio Gordon wants to know, will the app have user prompts to encourage them to whitelist the Unity app to prevent Android or iOS from killing the app since it's running in the background?
Yes, we've managed this in a very special way, in accordance to requirements. And for anybody that would like more information on that, there will be a dedicated Unity AMA and communication session scheduled at a later date. I think it would be around the middle of November.
Okay, thank you for clarifying, Josh. Now, Rat Pouch wants to know whether the Unity app includes Jingle.
It does in our local builds. The initial release on the store and on the website will not include the Jingle app, but we will roll it out as one of the first updates. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Now, Fenway Air Nodes wants to know whether he wants to confirm whether leases will not need a crypto wallet to pay the subscription fee and claim rewards.
That's correct. The payment for the subscription can be done via Google Pay or Apple Pay. Users can withdraw their rewards via available payment options, subject to their local financial regulations.
Thanks. And Earthpath wants to know whether rewards are claimable monthly only or at any time.
You can claim the rewards at any time. At the end of each month, you can also claim them, but you could withdraw your rewards at any time you choose.
Okay, Riza Salatini, I like this. This is a good management consultancy question for you. How much market share has Unity Network secured before going live? Has the team released any official information about this? And if we have such details, could we more accurately estimate this monthly income per license?
So it's really hard to predict at this stage. I would say impossible because it depends on the number of devices that will be available at different stages post-launch. Integration discussions are ongoing. We have several integrations that we will be talking more about in the dedicated space for Unity. Network scale will depend on operational deployment, and in addition, we will establish individual integrations through direct agreements with enterprises and telecom operators as we've been doing. So just keep in mind, we're not dealing with a singular market. Obviously, the share we achieve with the 50,000 licenses activated versus 1.2 million licenses activated will be scalably different.
Okay, that's very helpful. Now from Hello. When the stake tokens are released after the 24-month staking period, do you get the same amount you stake back or the equivalent to $5,000 at the moment at release?
It will be according to the original purchase agreement. You can find the specific allocations in your purchase confirmation email.
Marcus Ripkins now wants to know about building a business in Unity, and would you suggest buying more nodes over time or buying additional licenses for existing nodes?
We can't make any recommendation on that. It really depends on market availability. If there are if there's nothing left available to purchase, but a large number of licenses are listed on the market, then acquiring additional licenses would be the only option at that time. This said, license expansion will be prioritized over node expansion.
And Marcus Ripkins also wants to know whether the price for nodes and licenses will go up over time, and if so, what would be the estimates?
The price in round two will be going up, and due to the ongoing expansion of the Unity project, the introduction of new services and increasing industry demand, I do, we do personally expect, the price to rise. Okay, now that's a personal expectation. That's absolutely not financial advice. You'll have to do your own research and make your own understanding. We are unable to provide such recommendations, but if the network is deployed by the license operators, the value is obviously clear. There is no edge network out there today like the edge network that we're building as a distributed community, and the prospects are very exciting for anybody. I hope that answers the question. And if you'd like to add anything there, Gary, you're more than welcome.
No, it was fulsome. And let me move on because we've still got somewhere to go. David J99 wants to know why why the community is not being told about the number of Unity nodes currently sold.
So it's been made clear that there will be a full announcement with analytics and detailed statistics at the end of round one.
Okay. And continuing on the same theme, the expected release of Unity node operation is before the end of October. Does that mean that round two runs whilst the app is live?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, great. Now, Richie asks, what is the longevity of the Unity nodes project? Is this something that has a long future, or could it be replaced by new infrastructure and systems?
The Unity platform is designed for long-term scalability and new use case development. So where we begin is no indicator of how this will expand over time. The forecasted growth for this industry is very strong, with multiple statistics platforms showing a healthy upward trend in areas such as verification and fault identification services, as well as fraud prevention and revenue loss, or fraud detection prevention and revenue loss prevention. The Unity project is highly innovative and offers the potential to be expanded with many new services and applications in the future.
Very exciting. It's a really interesting platform. Ibrahim Bauer now has two questions. First of all, do we know when round two of the node sales is going to begin?
Information will be communicated by the various teams, and I'm sure that all of the information and details surrounding it will also be communicated at that time.
I thought you might say soon there, Josh, but you avoided it. Quite nice. Second question. Do you know how long it takes for a Unity task to be completed? If the network connection is intermittent, is the task automatically reassigned to another Unity node?
So tasks are ongoing. It really does depend on the task. Some can be completed almost instantly, whilst others are ongoing. If the connection is unstable or the quality is insufficient, or connection quality is insufficient, the Unity operator will lose the task until the connectivity meets the required standards again.
Brilliant, thank you. Fenway Air Nodes asks now, will we be providing any marketing materials such as brochures for the community to use, or is it just on the community to put stuff together using the media kit?
So the provided media kit is stage one. There will definitely be a range of marketing materials available for the community. We've also noticed that several community members have been creating their own pamphlets, which are pretty cool. I guess they will be made available for everybody to use. We will provide materials. We appreciate the community's creativity and obviously welcome content that supports awareness, that follows brand guidelines and compliance guidelines. This is a true community-driven opportunity, and it's all about participation.
Brilliant. And what is the global marketing plan to get people interested in Unity application?
So I'm pretty sure we answered this last time. We do have our first phase of marketing is the creation of strategic collaborations within Web 2 and Web 3. There are partners that will ensure or should ensure a widespread awareness of Unity in the project. So you can expect more partnerships to be announced imminently. I know that the team did announce a Zbec partnership today, in which Unity, a Unity themed MasterCard will be available for users to utilize with their rewards. And I know that, DOT was announced yesterday. So stay tuned. There are many more to come. The team have been very, very busy building partnerships and raising awareness, not just in Web3, but also in Web2. I think, we're here to take this by storm.
Thank you, Josh. And now I'm not meant to have favourite questions, but today I do have one, and it's the next one from Deepins. When can I get a Minutes Network hoodie?
The merch store is not something that we are working on as a priority. It is nice, and it is a nicety, and it will come in due course. I think Jamie or Matthew will announce news on the merchandise store over time.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Josh. Now, another question from Koya75. If we need the services of a Unity dev to build out special UI or monitoring solutions, does this person need to have any special skills or knowledge specifically related to Minutes Network or World Mobile? Or can any blockchain dev or Web2 dev be hired to fulfill the work?
Well, Unity development today remains in-house. Building on the Unity network is going to be enabled for the public in the near future. We do have a couple of builders currently working on the network in terms of building external third-party applications. They are in their early stages, and we are very excited to see the outcome of those. However, this would not enable the public development kit to modify the user interface. Suggestions, of course, are welcomed from node operators and license operators, and the appropriate place will be given to provide those suggestions.
Thank you, Josh. Now then, Dreaming Forest question. This is a real Web3. This is a real Web3 question for you. Minutes Network sits on the ETH chain. World Mobile on Base, but also connected to ETH and Cardano. And the backbone of World Mobile Earth node sits on Cardano. How does all this information move in a simultaneous way to run Unity and a telecommunication network? Is this what interoperability looks like?
Well, interoperability for us is the flexible connect, right? So it's something a little bit different, but I could do. It's a very dynamic stack. So the Unity node license NFTs and the operator license NFTs will operate on the World Mobile chain. However, if you would like to operate it on the Ethereum chain post-release, you will be given the option, or at least a way to operate it on Ethereum.
Okay, so now this is a question from Iskalf, and he really wants to understand how scaling happens, because when he wrote this, he said all carriers are scaling today, and it was a Sunday, so it can't be a coincidence. It's a Minutes Network thing. Is that right? And he'd like to understand better how it works, and if we could give more insight on how people scale and why traffic might go up on different days of the week.
Carrier scale is dependent upon circumstance and scenario. There is no individual carrier that acts the same as another. Usually, carriers have their own preferences and strategies that are unique to them, of course, with basic overlap, conforming to industry requirements and normal practices.
Okay, now the next question. Okay,
Go ahead.
thank
Sure.
you, Josh. The next question from RW. I know you've addressed this in your comments beforehand, but I'll give you a chance just to re-clarify and expand if need be. The question is: it was mentioned on August 5th that within 1 to 4 weeks, Pakistan would have 1 to 2 million minutes running per month, with immediate being 3 to 4 million. Can you update on this?
Yes, I can. The carriers that hold more than 10% of the Pakistan traffic in the industry are very big. And whilst we are at the table and have been at the table with one of the, well, probably the largest carrier for international traffic to Pakistan, we are going to need a little bit more time to make the arrangements. There is a lot of there is a huge amount of, we are talking about traditional telecommunications traffic here, pre-optimization with our technologies. And there is a lot of people that want this very same traffic. So what we have to do in order to win this traffic, we have to show how the rate is going to be more beneficial to them compared to different partners. And we've made a very good we've made a very good study, and we've shown that study. We're in agreement. Everything is aligned. We're speaking to perhaps two or three of the largest entities in the traffic to wholesale, both SMS and voice traffic to Pakistan right now. And I would say that all three of them are going to come on board. If they do, we will smash those expectations. If they don't, we'll end up with the 3 to 4 million minutes as discussed. Obviously, we want it to go quicker. I don't know if you've seen the Explorer graphs lately, but there is definitely an uptick, and we can see more traffic onboarded. Probably first week of November as the carrier agreements rotate. So I wouldn't be surprised if we, tip over the 1 million mark per day in early November.
So patience, I guess, and all good things come in their own time.
Patience, because we're doing something that no other company has ever done before, and we're doing it in a different way that's very unique and nobody else can do right now. So it's also extremely valuable to us as a network and to the network participants. So yes, I think rather we want things yesterday. That's typically how I work anyway. And I'm sure many of the people listening do as well. But it's happening. We're making great progress. You'll see by some of the interconnection names that we announced, and you'll see the uptick starting early November. Very excited.
All right, thank you, Josh. That's really helpful. But staying on the same theme and staying on the same continent, Andrew asked that Bangladesh currently seems to be capped around 100,000 minutes per day, even though you've been terminating calls there longer than Pakistan. Are the carriers in Bangladesh aware of our success in scaling traffic in Pakistan and still throttling traffic, or are they unaware and keep minutes at existing levels for this reason?
So we've actually applied, or we're in the process of applying for a direct interconnection to the local telcos. We are in a very good position. Our focus right now is obviously delivering Pakistan and expanding the network globally. It's critical for us to focus on the big wins first. Where we have the license in Pakistan, it's probably the biggest immediate scaling priority at a single market level. Obviously, we do have eyes on Bangladesh and other countries as well, but please refer to the information previously stated in earlier AMAs for detail on these deployments and rollouts. They are actively underway.
Thank you. And AB pushes a bit further and says some of us have been wondering what's happened to the hyperscaling. Is it still happening? What sort of timelines can we expect hyperscaling to finally occur?
So during November, we'll definitely see the delivery of, perhaps 25 countries already. Hyperscaling is happening now. It's live. It's being deployed as we speak. We have licenses being acquired, already been acquired in various different states. We're targeting global scale. We will have more than 50 countries live by the end of the year. Q4 is a significant time for us, and we're doing everything we can to bring hyperscaling to the table in the most, in the quickest manner possible.
Thank you for that, Josh. We're going to head back to some more questions on Unity now. RG Grogo asks, since Unity will be minted on World Mobile Chain, when can we expect the base and WMC version of MNTX? I hope it will be an option and be available in Aerodrome since fees are wild on ETH.
So the token team did state in the last AMA that multi-chain support for MNTX is not a primary focus at this time, but it is scheduled and it will be live on base eventually. As soon as it becomes a focus, I think you can have your licensed NFT minted on Ethereum or WM chain. So, but base will come in the future, and we're very close to rolling out our WM chain integration as well on the carrier and enterprise level. So that will bring some excitement as well, and some new statistics on the Explorer and some new metadata to add to the deep insights provided by the Wallet Connect feature on our partner MNTX Explorer.
Thanks, Josh. Can a Unity node absorb other licenses so that it won't feel bulky in the wallet? The example is this person has two Unity nodes. They want to transfer 100 to another node. Can that 100 be shown in B without them minting the licenses from A?
Currently, the system is designed so that a new NFT is minted whenever a license is transferred from the available balance within a node license NFT. After the transfer, the Unity license NFT can be reattached to any other Unity node NFT as desired, where it will be added to that node's internal balance of available licenses. We will continue to explore further optimizations to make this process as efficient and seamless as possible.
Okay, Flippy wants to know for what purposes the money will be put to that we're collecting from the Unity nodes. He thinks about $30 million.
Funds collected from Unity release and sales are allocated to operational development and scaling costs as outlined in company disclosures, and they are also assigned to the treasuries.
And on a similar vein, what percentage of Unity rewards will go to the team or project before distribution among node operators, licensees, and MNTX and WMTX?
I think we'll forward that question to the next token AMA.
Okay, thank you. That's probably the right thing to do. I've got a question from CGHL. The VRB sounds amazing. Is the VRB component built and integrated into Unity's production code base, or is it a planned feature? And does VRB utilization reward license operators and Minutes Network Mobile TRPs, or only the TRPs? Thank you.
No, it sticks with the same rewards structure that's previously been presented with Unity. It is built and ready to go. It's not integrated into the first rollout of Unity. It will be in the third or fourth update that's sent out, perhaps early December. And the reason for that is we are currently integrating with the Earth nodes to be able to provide not only exit paths on an edge network, but also from a data center and enterprise level. So it's very exciting. Big Earth node integration happening here. And not only with this feature, there are some other very nice features that will be announced and will show the workings of how they involve the different components of the ecosystem. Very exciting again.
Brilliant. Matty Tios, I know it's probably not happening in the initial Unity app versions, but does the team have any info they can share on potentially what options may be available for fiat payments in the future? In particular, if Unity payments are originating in, say, Hong Kong, then will it be possible or beneficial for Unity to also offer a Hong Kong domestic bank transfer as a payments option? As this is possible for the likes of a Wise account as they come bundled with domestic bank accounts in most countries and currencies and countries.
So at launch, fiat payments through bank transfer will be available to select countries, and this functionality will soon be extended to accommodate as many countries as possible. We are working on this.
Okay, brilliant. You're doing very well. Just we're coming towards the end, but it's been a stellar performance so far. The next question comes from Ibrahim. What level of professional indemnity cyber liability insurance does World Mobile Minutes Network maintain to safeguard operators and partners, for example carriers, against potential data breaches, network disruption, or regulatory exposure arising from Unity nodes?
Well, we actually don't put ourselves in a position where we could, provide such intrusions. Unity is secure by design. We've actually been auditing it with some of the world's leading security companies in terms of cyber security and vulnerability assessment. So we're very happy with the way that it stands. We will continue to ensure that the network remains secure at all times.
Ibrahim asks again, I think he's obviously got an insight in security. Given that Unity relies on a global network of users' devices, how do you prevent participation from jailbroken or compromised phones that may push altered results to WM chain?
We would like to see you. We would like to that's not possible. The Unity application includes several security measures, server side and client side, to detect and restrict use or unmodified or insecure devices. We do not expect that to be possible. We will detect it if it happens. There are several measures in place. I must also say, please do not run Unity on virtual machines or virtual boxes. It is not compatible and not supported, and it's not good for the network and not what we need.
Okay, here's I think this is probably a question for MNTX, but I'll ask it, and you can tell me how we're going to deal with it. Is anyone able to advise why the total Epoch rewards in Epoch 3 decreased 50% from last month's rewards in Epoch 2? Have I missed something? And just thought the rewards should increase as the network expands. And if if rewards have decreased, why the contraction? Anything to worry about? Thank you.
The amount of MNTX this is really a token question.
Yeah.
I would like this to be forwarded to the next token AMA, if that's okay.
Yes.
I could give you an approximate answer, but I'd rather you have a very detailed answer from the relevant token team.
Okay, I think that's probably the right thing to do. Koya75 from Discord asks, in the Minutes Network Discord, there's a channel for suggestions. How seriously does the team take suggestions and requests that are placed there? And if a suggestion is taken up as an actual initiative, is it possible to publicly track the progress of a suggestion as it develops?
Actually, all suggestions are taken very seriously and carefully considered. If we identify ideas and concepts that align with the internal vision, or display a serious requirement for implementation and provide clear benefits to the projects, we will implement them without any related updates or releases announced through our official. With any related updates or releases announced through our official social media channels. We'll always listen to the community. We'll always listen to our partners, our customers. Be it enterprise, small customers, small partners, big partners. It's all treated very much equally, and we absolutely care about feedback.
Okay, thank you, Josh. We're down to the final two set questions before we open the mics up. I think you've answered this one already, but I'll ask it again anyway. Will it be possible for node operators to set auto-renew and auto-revoke parameters for licensees based on the license holder's uptime or performance?
Yes, this will be possible, but it will be introduced in a later update of the Unity application.
Okay, and then the final question from our preset, or the preset we had. What is the lowest spec of Android or iOS phone that can run the license and node applications efficiently? And does the phone version have any significant impact on how well Unity applications will run, in terms of maximum uptime and task completion?
So we would recommend Android 6 as the absolute minimum requirement. The application has been successfully tested and run smoothly on devices, as old as the iPhone 7, iOS 15. I think, as long as the device can run standard applications normally and remains powered, has a stable connection, be it Wi-Fi or SIM card provided, and has sufficient bandwidth, it will perform just as well as any newer device would.
Brilliant, thank you, Josh. That concludes the first section on questions and answers, and it's a marathon. We've already been going an hour and a half tonight. So let me now open the floor. If anyone would like to come to the stage and ask questions to Josh now, assuming he hasn't covered everything you've got on your minds this evening.
So I actually see one request from King Warwolf. We're going to accept that now. Hi, King Warwolf. How are you today? I know you've been waiting a while. I do apologize.
You hear me?
Yes, I can indeed.
Okay, great. I just have a quick question. You guys said the app will be open on the 31st of that month. Does that mean the marketplace will be online at the same time?
Yes, it will be. Absolutely. There'll be no delay in between the application being live. The marketplace is inside the application. The web marketplace will be launched with the web dashboard at a later date.
Okay, great. That was my only question. Thank you very much.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for coming up. We have a few more speakers. It seems like X is working excellently tonight. So please, Callus Bling, Jeff Cortez, Junie, Sean, and anybody else who would like to request, feel free to hit the button, and we'd love to answer your questions.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate an awesome space again. Question I had, the same as last time, was the service or any type of plan for running the Unity nodes for service, for Wi-Fi, anything like that with World Mobile?
So I think I'm not sure if anyone from World Mobile in the audience wants to come up and take this. I can't comment on that at this time, but I'm sure that news will be announced on this at a later date.
Copy. But there is something being worked on, right? From what
I
I understand.
believe I believe so, but please don't take my word for gospel because it's up to the WM team to sort of align announcements accordingly.
Sure thing. Thank you so much again. Appreciate it.
Josh, Gary, and the team and the community, good evening. I just wanted a clarity question. You mentioned earlier that you were able to revoke licensees. So, what happens if the licensee pays that $199 and he's just not performing after, let's say, 10 days, and you revoke his license? Is there a legality since he paid for that $199? Or
No, he doesn't lose any money. His he can reapply that credit to a different license at any time that he leases. That's if he paid for it, right? If you paid the license fee on the leased license, then you can just continue as normal.
so basically, if we cut it short, let's say as a node operator, he will get credit to that $199. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. It might not be the 199. It might be the amount of days that he's
Okay,
used it
got it.
for. Yes, of course.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you, Sean. Lovely to have you here, and hope we can do a show together very soon on Unity, and we'll do a demonstration, and we can do a deep dive into it.
Definitely looking forward to it. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, Sean. Jeff or Callis or Junie, if you would like to.
Hello.
Hi, pleasure to have you here. How are you today?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to ask questions and also for all the info you have already gave us. I have actually 3 little questions, so if it's okay, I'll ask them all. First is about the NFTs of the Unity nodes. When are those delivered to node holders?
They will be mintable on the 31st of October with the application
Okay,
release.
so it's the same day. Yeah.
Yes, it's the same day. Absolutely.
Okay. The other one is also considering on the Friday, the 31st. I think you said that the app is going to be downloadable on the website. Was it like that?
Yes, it will be released to the Play Store and downloadable on the website on the 31st of October.
Okay, what does it mean? Because I might be wrong, but I always thought that if you want to install an app on iOS device, you will have to go to the App Store and you can't download anything. Or am I just wrong?
So more information and details on this and the specific processes to install the application on the 31st of October will be released with the announcement itself. That
Okay.
being said, we are releasing the application to the various Play Stores on the 31st, so it will be available.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And the third one also, what about the airdrop of MNTX tokens to WMTX holders?
I can tell you that the airdrop is absolutely taking place. More information will be announced during the next token AMA, the Minutes Network token AMA. I know that Mark has some details on that, and more than sufficient information will be released to satisfy all parties.
Okay, lovely. Thank you again for all the answers.
Thank you very much for coming up, Junie. Lovely to have you here, and thank you for the great questions. We have
Yeah,
Bits
thanks. Bye.
Dano, and we have GG3000, we have Jeff Cortez. Please go ahead. And we have Callis Bling as well.
Hello, everyone. My question is about affiliate programs. Is there any affiliate program for the license market or to promote the technology on the like normal general users? Thank you very much.
Yes, in terms of marketing, we have a great deal of activities planned. In terms of referral, layered referral systems, there will be an announcement detailing those layered referral systems very shortly. I believe, during November, everything will be made very clear regarding referrals, at both the license level and also on the node license level as well. Gigi, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please feel free to rephrase your question and we'll give you more details.
Is there anything about the percentage?
In terms of the percentage relating to what? I'm so sorry.
For the affiliate programs for the license market.
Okay, so you're talking about the minimum percentage required, to be listed on the marketplace. Is that correct?
No, actually, my question was for the affiliate program, is there any percentage for the earnings?
Okay, so the affiliate program, the rewards are calculated in additional licenses that will be distributed to node operators. We don't provide a direct percentage under those affiliate programs.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Gigi. Have a good day. Callus or Jeff, would you like to, or Bit Dano, would you like to take the stand?
Hey, Josh, thanks for taking our questions. I'll just start. I have a bunch, but seem to go mostly on Unity right now, so I'll just leave it for the Unity questions for now. When you mentioned that the NFTs will be mintable on the 31st. So when they are minted, will we need like WMTX in our wallet? Will we need anything? Will we need to have a wallet only on WMC chain, or are they mintable on ETH as well?
You can request to have your NFT on ETH. Initially, it will be on WM chain, but ETH was always also available immediately. So whether you will need gas, yes, you will need some gas in your wallets.
And on WMC chain, that is obviously WMTX, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's correct.
I haven't
Yes.
played around with that chain yet, so okay, appreciate the answer. If anyone else wants to come up and ask a question quick, I have some more, but they're on earlier statements, so we'll just kind of continue with Unity theme here.
Yeah, hey Josh. Hey, when you guys were testing the nodes, how many phones did you have in one area? And
so in different, to answer your question directly, in different countries we had different amounts of devices, and we had different types of devices as well. We did a pretty wide range test.
And will there be directions on how to set everything up and get everything going, or is it all with the pop-up wizard on the app?
So the wizard is designed to be completely self-explanatory. The setup procedure is actually incredibly simple. We definitely will be providing tutorials and sort of lessons and videos and perhaps some live sessions as well. As we proceed. It's very simple to set up. It's been designed so that everybody can set it up very easily.
And if we have multiple nodes, should we use up one first or a little bit from each one?
That is completely up to you. We can't make that decision for you. It's completely up to you. But I would recommend that the licenses are listed on the marketplaces from all of the nodes, if that's your plan.
All right, Josh. Thank you very much, and I'm really super excited.
Thank you, BitDano. Thank you for coming up. Appreciate the questions. Okay, we have Afro Mansa and we have Spider-Man. Hello, gentlemen. How are you both today?
Hey Josh, how are you, mates?
Very well, thank you very much. And how are you today?
Yeah, very well, thanks. My name is Rob, by the way. Firstly, thank you for spending this time doing this. It's 3:20 in the morning here in Perth, Australia, so I'm a bit tired, but I'll quickly ask my question. Just in regards to marketing, I have started putting a bit of a brochure together myself. Start getting in touch with a few of the local kind of community football clubs, things like that, because I was going to look at doing some sort of referrals through that. But also, I just wanted to ask in regards to Minutes, Unity, and World Mobile, I'm quite well connected in the media industry here. And I've got some very good friends who are producers for our morning shows on television here. So we've got Sunrise and the morning show. And I've already spoke to him, and he's pretty keen to get someone on who from Unity or Minutes or World Mobile to talk about all this, because I'm sure you've heard about the incidents we've had through Optus going down, and unfortunately people passed away only a month or so ago. But
Absolutely,
obviously
it's
anything
dreadful.
can help. So yeah, I just wanted to see if it was something that somebody from the team might be interested in, because I think it could be a really good opportunity.
Definitely, definitely. We would love that opportunity, and we will be available to present. If you would like to connect to me on Telegram or via X, or via email, we would be very grateful. Thank you very much for the opportunity and the thoughts, Rob.
Yeah, not a problem, mate. I'll send that through to you. Cheers. Thank
Much
you for your time.
appreciated. Thank you. Have a good night. Try and get
Cheers,
some
mate.
rest.
I will do. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have Afro Mansa, I believe, who is next.
Yes, thank you very much. Josh, thanks for everything so far. I have a question in regards to the NFTs on Ethereum wallets. Is it possible to transfer the NFT to a Cardano wallet? And secondly, is it possible that it can be compromised on the Ethereum wallet, for example, on a base wallet?
Only if your wallet is compromised, God forbid. Okay, so the NFT itself is considered secure. It's audited, and everything is correct with the NFT itself. So obviously, take precaution with wallets. It cannot be used today on Cardano. We will be looking into that as multi-chain, etc., goes live. But for today, it is not transferable to a native Cardano wallet. Not yet.
And for the node operators, is it possible to operate a Unity wallet from multiple phones or just one phone?
You can operate the node license from any phone.
Now, what I'm saying is, for example, if I have 3 Unity nodes, can I operate? Can I
Oh, I'm
operate
sorry.
two
Yes, you
different phones?
can. You can operate the 3 Unity nodes individually from the one same telephone. You don't need 3 telephones to manage 3 nodes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Afromancer. Appreciate the questions. I hope you have clarity in those answers.
Yes.
If anybody else would like to come and ask any questions live, you are absolutely more than welcome. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, Josh, I have a few questions from the community that they're DMing me with. One of them is if the node is eligible for like buying the privilege or the bonus for buying 3 nodes in round 1, assuming that's still a thing, will that privilege follow the node, or is it locked to, for example, the wallet that purchased it or the account that purchased it? Does that make sense? Hopefully.
Yes, it does make sense. So actually, that's a very interesting question. And if I told you more information and gave you a detailed answer, it might ruin what's to come for the round 2 announcement. So I'll have to pass on that one right now, Callus.
No problem. And just for confirmation, when this app is released on the 31st, there won't be a web portal to manage it through, right? We have to use the application on the phone. Is that still a thing?
Yes, that's correct. The web portal will be released at a later date, along with the web version of the market, but you can control the entire functionality through the application on the telephone upon release.
But we will need a wallet on that phone.
I
Is
understand
it?
what you're saying. If you can generate an operator, a node operator code remotely from a website rather than actually connecting your wallet to the telephone, that feature will be announced shortly after launch. Whether it's 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, I can't give you a specific date and time, but I can tell you that it will be announced shortly after launch. For those that don't want to have their node license NFT on their telephone, they will be able to connect to a web portal and generate a code and log in with that code.
Okay, so that is coming, but not on launch. Got it. Okay. If anyone else has a few Unity questions, I would like to switch gears at some point to some of the earlier things, but I'm sure there's some more questions here. I am also monitoring chat, so if I see any come up, I will.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Callis. Appreciate it. If we have anybody else who would like to come and speak live, we would love to hear from you.
So I got a question as well. In the actual app, when we download it, will on the 31st, will the referral codes that have been used be live? So in other words, will we be able to see how many people used our referral code from the Unity app on launch on the 31st?
There will be information provided. There will also be a fully fledged referral system launched later down the road that encompasses operator license referrals as well. So that platform will encapsulate all of the data that you've just mentioned, plus much more. That is for a future release, hopefully during November.
Okay, awesome. Will Unity, I'm getting just a ton now that I'm asking, will Unity Node NFTs be available to be listed on OpenSea from World Mobile Chain? Or will we have to bridge them from World Mobile Chain to Ethereum in order to put them on OpenSea?
I'm quite sure that you can list it natively. And I would need somebody from WM Chain to confirm that. You will be able to bridge the node operator NFT directly to Ethereum if needed and if you want to.
Okay, perfect. Somebody was concerned earlier that the way you had mentioned expansion, it sounded like there will be more nodes. I know in an AMA, you have said that there will only be 6,000 nodes. If you could just confirm that for everyone so that they know that there's still only going to be 6,000 Unity nodes.
That is correct. As we see distribution and deployment of the Unity network, we will be issuing additional licenses under certain conditions as we near the maximum usage of the network's available licenses at the time. In terms of nodes, new nodes should not be needed to be created. That is not the goal here. When I referred to the creation of sort of licenses, I was talking about the expansion of the deployment itself.
And maybe just on that, what is sort of your criteria on the expansion of licenses? Because I imagine that not all licenses will be utilized. I know you guys as in the team Unity have set aside some licenses, I believe. So like, would you consider expanding licenses when you get to 80%, or is there a number that you guys are looking at, or is it just going to be sort of as needed as the spirit leads you?
I think it's a supply demand scenario. Hi, Callus. How are you? Hi, everybody.
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I joined earlier on for 15, 20 minutes, but then had to jump into some calls. but it will be as needed. For the foreseeable future, 6,000 is the number that is correct. But if the network needs more, we'll bring that to the community and we'll say we need more.
Okay. People want to know what hour you're gonna. It's not good enough to tell them a day. They want to know the
Hello, guys.
hour.
Listen,
Hi, George.
the
Hi,
minutes.
Mickey.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to listen to you guys. My question is, I have two nodes, but my plan is to start gradually um, my own farm, for example, with phones. But initially, I'm planning to start with 50 phones, and the other license the next month, or another 50, and the next month, and due the cost of the phone. It will be penalized if my license are not running at the beginning. That is my question.
Yeah, I think that starting with farms is one way to go. Individual handsets also have their merit. I would suggest that individual IPs are really important to the testing process. Josh will release information. They have got a whole team, hands down, working on everything. The plugins. It's not just the final steps of the Unity app, the Node app, or the licenses app. It's also all of the integration of the partners that has been ongoing for the last 3 months. So otherwise, you would have had some information. But next week, we'll endeavor to get some information to you regarding what is the optimal setup, right? In some cases, we never promote farms. It's not a good thing. And the whole community shouldn't be thinking about farms. Multiple devices is okay. But multiple devices on different networks or different Wi-Fi's or different environments is what we're looking for. Diversity is what we're looking for mostly. So hold your guns before you go out and buy thousands of phones because that's not going to be needed. Multiples, okay, right?
Okay, Mickey, thank you. That's exactly the idea. Too many, not a farm exactly, running by phones, but in different uh, networks in different locations in the country.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think by this time next week you'll have some more information, certainly high level information about what you should and shouldn't be doing. I mean,
Thank you, Mickey.
everything is useful, just to be clear, but some things are far more useful than others. Thank you too. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Just
Thank you. Thank you, Mickey. Callus, go ahead. We also have Ada Ace. Ada Ace, who would like to speak and ask some questions.
for sure. Just as a quick clarification about the 6,000 nodes thing. So just because I think people got like just to clarify, you said as the commercial case would be, you'd potentially open that up to be expanded, but as for now, we can say 6,000 is capped, right?
The number is 6,000, okay? But it's in everybody's interest, including node operators, including license operators, for the network to be as large as possible. The larger the network, the more beneficial and the more valuable the network actually is. The bigger the jobs we can take on, the higher the distribution, the more geodiversity, the more value that's created by this distributed network. So let's say that we had 6,000, nodes running now, and we had, 80% license utilization on the network. Of course, the first appropriate step would be to issue more licenses. Okay, as we see that license utilization slows because the 6,000 node operators have used a lot of their potential in terms of distribution. If we see that we can claim another, for example, and this is absolutely an example, another 10% or 1% of a market share by having a larger edge network, then we absolutely would look at, deploying additional nodes to satisfy the demand, because that would encourage more value to be brought in by enterprises, by key entities and carriers, and more further utilization of the network. The only time we would make such a decision is if it was financially relevant and interesting for the network and its operators, in terms of license operators and node operators. The node number is fixed unless it makes financial sense otherwise, not just to us as a company, let me reiterate, but also to node operators and license operators. If we see that we can bring additional value, we will.
Perfect. I think that hopefully clears it up for everyone in chat. That comment, of course, sparked some reaction. Ada Ace, I'm just answering or asking questions from the community in chat. So if you have a question, go ahead because I'll just keep asking otherwise.
For sure, for sure. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Josh. Just want to let you know. You said that I could reach out to you on Telegram. I attempted. It wants me to be a premium member or other things like that. I know Mickey was talking about he was
Let
going
me
to
let me set
connect
up a
us
let me
together
set
at
up a
some
group
point.
with Josh, and then he can add relevant
Okay.
members of his team. How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We're doing all right. The other question I had was, I kind of talked to you about a little bit, but Josh, since I'm here, if I heard something about that you had the ability to do custom agreements and other things like that. Um, I am a proponent for a free market and other things like that. I like that you have that as that there's a ability for the custom agreement between two parties. Um, could you maybe expound on that possibilities and how that might work?
Was that question directed to Josh or to me?
Well, I think it would be for Josh on the Unity side there on the node licenses where there was the poll that was put up 60/40, 40/60, other things like that. But in this space, there was talk about how there was the ability for the custom agreement between two parties. I'm just trying to see how that might work, or if we're at the point to where we have the minimum that a license
No.
leasing would have.
So I understand the question, Ada Ace, and thank you very much. It is an important question, and I hope that I can answer you clearly. Um, it's not locked to a minimum if you're using a standard lease or a private lease. The minimum concept would only be introduced on the marketplace, and that would be to protect, all entities involved from having a sort of, take my license, I'll give you it for 5%. Take mine, I'll give you it for 2.5%. Right. Now, I have had a lot of feedback, and we are looking at the feedback. The team is assessing right now. A lot of people would like it to be a free market. Others would like it to be 60/40 or 40/60. I think what's going to happen here is we're going to send an email to, node operators and get a formal vote count and understanding, and then we'll kind of take it from there. It's not something that we take lightly, of course, and maybe this capping would only last for the first X time period. It doesn't necessarily have to be permanent. You could also look at a tiered cap as well. There are many ways to make everybody sort of satisfied and still prevent any race to the bottom. We expect the demand for license usage to be high as possible, and we will continue to do marketing endeavors and efforts to ensure that it is kept high. And I think the answer to your question is we are looking at this, and we will make a conclusion and let you know.
I appreciate the answer. If it's like your marketplace and you want to have it set that way for your marketplace and keep the race from the bottom on the marketplace, I kind of understand that, and I agree with that. But like, say if node operator and leasee came to an agreement that said, "Hey, I want to come up and do this," I personally don't believe that Minutes Network or Unity should keep us from being able to have a peer-to-peer agreement.
No, I'm definitely aligned with you. I understand what you're saying, and I agree that there is no conditions on private leases or standard leases made through the application. And I would just like to reiterate on my previous answer. Uh, Adding additional nodes to a network is not the plan today, okay, to the Unity network. We would only do so in the event that it was financially beneficial to all participants, including node operators and license operators. And it absolutely does not create dilution of a reward pool. Unity nodes are proof of work, and rewards are earned directly by the node operator for the efforts of the node operator and license operators. Okay, there is no dilution by the creation of additional nodes. And this statement and my previous statement is not to say that we will be creating additional nodes. It's to say that if there was financial sense in doing so, we would look at this.
I can try to maybe help explain that for you on the business side of things if you want me to here real quick.
Your feedback is welcomed. Ace, please go ahead.
So basically what you're saying is if we all working, the network is booming and everything else, and you have more people that want us to do work, and there's not enough people to provide that work, you'll have the ability to open up for more nodes, but that's not your idea. You would want to give more leases, more licenses to the people that have the nodes first. But if those people can't find anybody else to lease them from them or other things like that, then you would have the ability to produce more nodes to people that want them to keep growing the network that you're producing for us.
Yes, that is one way to look at it. Absolutely. It's also about the size and geodiversity of the network. The more, as I said previously, the more geodiverse the network, the larger the edge network, the more valuable the network, not just for us as a company or Unity as a company, but also for the participants involved.
I just have
Thank you,
a
thank you. I'm gonna jump out of here and I'll wait for that connection between Mickey and Utah.
just have a few questions here too. We when the Unity node goes live on the 31st, we will be able to start operating immediately, right? Will there be a launch date of the actual network, or is it as soon as you get your license?
There's a roadmap that will go
Sorry, can
out.
you hear me again?
Yeah, we can hear you. There's a roadmap that will go out
Perfect.
in the next 24 hours that will explain the whole period through
Perfect.
November.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot more clarity then.
Perfect. And
There's
Josh, you
an initial startup state where calibration happens.
okay?
So that needs to happen. And then we'll go straight into. I better not spoil it. Josh will put it out.
Sounds good. My next question actually was, Josh, in the one of the AMAs, you said that you were going to hopefully do a sort of like a screen share of setting up the Unity app. Are you still planning to do that?
Yes, we can do that. And I've been talking to a couple of fellow YouTubers and fellow colleagues about this as well. We do have a plan in motion. And if you stay tuned to the announcements, more information on that will be announced.
You know how much we love staying tuned to the announcements. Um, sorry, I got a bunch more questions here. Does the Unity app actually check the status of the phone, like if it has a battery or if it has a screen? This is specifically, I'm sure, for the farmers out there.
The rewards won't be affected. Obviously, we can't confirm on that note for every manufacturer because there are so many different types and models of devices, etc. In terms of headless telephones with no screen. I remember the comment from the last AMA that we did in terms of like using motherboards and today's comment. We don't have the experience. It really depends on the product type. Unity is built for smartphones. It's built to work with smartphones, and it functions very well with smartphones.
Perfect. So I don't see any more questions specifically about Unity in the chat, but I do have a few about scaling of of Minutes Network. Sorry. In the test lab you talked about earlier, Josh, like how many countries, if you can tell us, are in the lab, and what volume of minutes is in the lab? Because when we see a country quote go stable and come onto the Explorer that we see, a lot of times we see it with like Nigeria and Pakistan at first. We see very limited minutes, a few thousand a day. Is that what it looks like in the lab as well, or are you guys doing more scale tests there? And if you can, once you let us know that, why does it take so long for a country from being stable, like in Nigeria, for example, to go from 800 to 1,000 minutes a day up to where you expect to see it in the future?
So every integration is a little bit different. For us, we're not looking at telecom as something that we plug in and press go and take a traditional margin and be happy. That's the regular telecommunications, traditional voice and SMS wholesale business. It's very good. It's part of the hyperscaling model, but it's not what we're doing here. We are plugging into various systems using the Flexible Connect. We have Jingle integrating with various applications on a retail, enterprise, and government level, depending on the country. You mentioned Nigeria. We have a lot of progress being made on the ground in Nigeria. There are different clearing houses that our partners and colleagues are working with to bring the traffic online. And we find ourselves in a very special position in the market. When we take our share of the traffic, we won't be on a standard margin. The margins will be optimized not only for us but also for our partners. And I guess it takes, in air quotes, quote unquote, so long because it's very new. We're building our own network, utilizing applications, Android applications primarily, but also licenses in the different countries and connections and the traffic coming from different sources. So in the lab, we see a lot of testing. We see capacity tests where we might hit 800 ports or 1,500 ports live on a very large destination such as Albania, but it's very short lived. So if you were to see that on the Explorer, it would be unnecessarily exciting for a few hours at the very most, right? As things come together, obviously the natural trajectory is to see more types of countries online, more regions, more minutes to each country. But we don't allow things into production on the Explorer before they are ready and stable. I hope that answers the question, Callis. We do have a speaker, Alpha Seeker. He's patiently waiting with his hand up, so I'd just like to acknowledge him.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Alpha Seeker. How are you today?
Good. I'm a little new to the community, so hopefully my question is not too dumb here. But so like once I get my Node NFT and my 200 licenses, so like am I supposed to like put these licenses on a marketplace or something like that?
So actually, we have a marketplace built into the application, but it will be compatible with external marketplaces as well. And demand will obviously be driven by different advertisement campaigns and different partners coming in and different communities, but also by the eagerness of second and third world and first world countries to supply the network with infrastructure and earn rewards in doing so.
Okay, so there's a demand for the licenses. Is that what we're hoping for, or is that what it is?
So actually, we're not hoping for that demand. The part of the proof of work is the distribution of those licenses and the deployment of those licenses. So the very participants involved in creating the edge network will assist in the deployment as well as the demand. The demand is secondary. It could become primary. We would expect it to in the long term, but to begin, it's a mix of both.
Okay. And then does the node NFT need to be on a wallet that's on a phone?
So actually, we had this question earlier. Initially, yes, but there will be a web or a website extension or a portal released where you can generate a node NFT or node license NFT code to log in from your computer, and therefore the wallet never has to touch the telephone.
Okay. And then back to the license thing, like as a node operator, like what do I need to do to get the 200 licenses out there? I mean, I could put it on a couple of devices, but am I supposed to try to sell that to people I know
Yeah, you're to
or
give it to people you know, or to share with people you know, or to sell it to people you know, your mom, your dad. This is the first time
And
that
you,
you have the
and
ability to be able to mine off of a telephone just by having the telephone there. And as I was alluding earlier, individual devices on different IPs, on different networks, they all add different elements of value. So diversity is key here. But yeah, that's your job. That's the part of the sharing economy. The
okay,
the
cool.
rewards the rewards don't the rewards have huge potential, massive potential, but they won't be anything if you don't work, right?
Okay, right. And then if it's like my say it's like say if my family's like mostly in a certain city, is that good or bad or
It's
like
good.
is it
It's great. It
okay?
means density. It means that we can have an institution or an operator or carrier that wants to, do a bulk test in one area, one city. It's World Mobile, for example, would like to understand the scan for points data in those areas. So yeah, it's nothing is really an advantage. Nothing is a disadvantage. But what won't work is if you've got one router supporting 25, 30 phones. That's not the idea here. If you've got
Okay,
one
cool.
router supporting 5 phones in a household, that makes sense. That's okay. It should be good enough to generate rewards. But of course, diversity is how you get the most rewards.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Welcome.
thank you very much, Alpha Seeker. Appreciate your time. Okay, do we have anyone else who would like to come live and ask any questions?
Hey
I do
guys,
have
can
to
you hear
sign
me?
off in about 8 minutes, Josh. I think you do too.
Hello.
Yes, I think we're about half an hour, just under half an hour over schedule at the moment, but not a problem at all. Hi, LAFUX, how are you?
Hey, good, good. Thanks for your work. Appreciate it. Just this short question. Some questions already answered. So will there be a tutorial on how to mint the nodes on VM chain? And does it matter how we provide it? We provided an Ethereum address, and mine was linked to MetaMask via a ledger. Does it anything matter, or how the minting works?
No, that's absolutely fine. You can use your MetaMask address. It's EVM compatible. You can also request that the minting takes place on the Ethereum chain as well, if you would like.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. I hope that answers your questions. Callus, is there anything else before we sign off?
Yeah, there's always something else. But just maybe if you guys appreciate you guys taking all our questions, but maybe if you could talk a little bit about this calibration period, if possible, or at least when the roadmap will be announced. Will it be, later in
Yeah,
today's
within
announcement?
24 hours from now.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
likely
we will.
around this time tomorrow, there'll be a post on social media so that we can all follow the road to unity, which will launch on the 31st. But it's going to be nice. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So I do
Perfect.
see an additional question in the community here asking for information on the timing of the calibration stage. It's not an unknown. It's a couple of days in terms of timing for the network to calibrate, adjust, and scale up to an optimal level where we will initiate the services that are already being provided. So no delays on that part. We don't envisage any delays on any part as it stands today.
It's good.
Okay, Gary, if you would like to close up, that would be fantastic. And, as we close today's AMA, I just want to take a moment to recognize how far Minutes Network has come and where we're going. We're not just growing or scaling, right? We're accelerating and at scale. We're solidifying our position as a global telecommunications infrastructure company, and we're built for the next generation of solutions. We're highly compatible. Our technology, our partnerships, and the communities are working together to build something that's never existed before. We're a network that rewards participation, transparency, and real contribution. So for me, it's a defining period. The groundwork is in place, the integrations are underway, global scale is immediately ahead of us during December. And thank you to everyone who continues to participate and who has listened and asked questions for tonight's AMA. I hope you are satisfied with the answers. Rest assured, if you are not satisfied with any of the answers, please do reiterate them in the community. They will be picked up and answered either via the community chats or in the next AMA. We're getting the network is alive. It's getting stronger and stronger every day. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time again.
Hold on, Josh.
Gary,
Thank you, Josh. Let me
I'll
just.
hand back to you.
Sorry, thank you, Josh. Can I just do the
I have to
legal,
jump off
please?
now, but thank you very much, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Mickey. Just a
Thank you,
quick
Mickey.
disclaimer. The information shared during this AMA is provided for general informational purposes only and should not be interpreted as financial, investment, or legal advice. All forward-looking statements are subject to technical, business, and regulatory uncertainties. Minutes Network makes no guarantees regarding outcomes, rewards, or future performance. Thank you all for taking time to be with us today. So much time, and thank you. Keep watching the socials for more announcements which are due for release. Special thanks to Josh, Omri, Jamie, and the guest appearance from Mickey, and everybody for being here and all your contributions. Until next time, every minute counts.